Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's time for another weekly wrestling rant. The weekly rant that I go on about the wrestling that I consumed this past week. Today, we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw, NXT on Tuesday, Friday Night SmackDown, along with AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, and Collision that happened this past Saturday. So let's jump right to it. Monday Night Raw. Everyone's getting their bid in for WrestleMania. Now, the Elimination Chamber is stacked. We know who's going to be all in there. Should be interesting to see which way it's going to go. Oh, yeah, some news to talk about. Some entertaining news, to say the least. But Raw went off without a hitch. Not too much happened on Raw, quite honestly. The matches were fine there, though, on Raw this past week. I did not have an issue with any of the matches. Some of the stuff going on, they were hyping up the Women's Elimination Chamber. I mean, they had a little package on Alexa Bliss. Like, don't really care. I just being honest, don't care. But that was Raw in a nutshell. You know, we know Gunther and Jay are gonna have their WrestleMania match. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. Penta, he had a good showing again against Pete Dunne. Again, I'm liking that they're making Penta slow down a lot. You know, I'm not a fan of Pete Dunne, just because when I see people attack small digits like fingers and things like that, if you're in the arena, it's hard to see that. It's hard to see that from a spectator point of view. You can see it fine on TV, but if you're there in person, it's hard to see. Plus, you know, you're working on people's fingers and stuff like that. That's little margin for error because they're such small digits. You can easily like dislocate a finger, break a finger, like things like that. That can happen too quick. As someone who's done it multiple times, yeah, I'm a little leery about people who work on small digits. But yeah, that was pretty much it. The big standout moment on Raw for me was that. And yeah, Raw, as I said, the match is nothing to ride home about. Everyone is getting ready for WrestleMania, getting their bid in. Sammy and Kevin Owens. Again, I really like heel Kevin Owens. I'm a fan of the package of him doing the package power driver, which is nice. So yeah, I'm all for heel Kevin Owens. Now on NXT, we had the number one contenders, Miss Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, and someone who won, whose name I forget. She won that match. It was fine enough. You see the NXT, they really stepping up their game, and it's good to see that product. Again, nothing too crazy to write home about on NXT either. I started zoning out watching it, just being honest. Like I said, not a bad show, but that was a standout moment for me. The number one contender for the, I think it's the Women's North American Championship, if I'm not mistaken. But I gotta pay more attention on NXT because, I zone out during a lot of that stuff. It's when they start talking and it just takes me out of it. It really just takes me out. But that was NXT. Now let's talk about AEW Dynamite, where big highlights there. Toni Storm cut a promo on how she beat Mariah May at the event in Australia. We had the Boar Horsemen, as Jim Cornette and Brian Last affectionately call them, come out and do stuff, I guess, and it was, the main event was Pockets. He was the main event. Orange Cassidy was in a main event for a title shot to fight Takeshita this coming up Wednesday. Now, Orange Cassidy is in a match for a title shot. He's in a match for a title. He's in a match for a title this coming up Wednesday. Because he won. He won. Orange Cassidy, the joke wrestler of all jokes, is going to be champion. I don't know what. That was the main event. They put that on TV like it was impressive. And then the whole Death Rider thing. Oh my lord. Moxley and his rambling, he sounds like a person who should be committed or is already committed and they need their meds up. I'm sorry, what are you talking about? What is he saying? And why does Edge conveniently always have a spike bat under the ring now? Is that his thing now? He just comes there and pick up a spike bat for what? Why is it there? Ugh, so annoying. So aggravating to see. They have Cope. First of all, terrible name. Just awful. It's not gonna get over. It's just not it. Cope? Come on. And as a performer, Edge, Adam Copeland, I've always been a fan. I don't know what this is though. I don't. Because more happens on Collision. I can't say this to AEW's credit. They're trying to make everything congruent. They're attempting to. It's just this stuff has zero interest, and it sucks for the most part. But I can say to their credit, I can be constructive. At least they're trying to make things congruent. I can say that. So, okay, that was Dynamite. Now we move on to SmackDown, where we have Solo and Jacob coming face to face. After Solo spiked Tama Tonga the other week, and Jacob said, I know it was an accident. Oh yeah, you will be standing right here. So they got that turmoil. Now, I will say this. I know this is going to lead to Solo and Jacob having a match. I hope they have the match before WrestleMania. That I don't want to see that WrestleMania. I want to see Jacob do something phenomenal at WrestleMania, not fight Solo. Nothing against Solo, but I'd rather that be at the Elimination Chamber and then have Jacob do something at WrestleMania. I would. That would be great. That would be so great. Now we got Drew McIntyre, whom I'm loving Drew McIntyre. He had a match with Jimmy. Now, Jimmy needed a win. And I thought it was creative how they did it. Well, how Jimmy got his win. And then, of course, he got beat up at the end, which absolutely should have happened. But I see they're trying to push Jimmy as a baby face like they did Jay. Which I get what they're doing. And I'm a little upset that Drew had to take that pin, but at the same time, I get why. You know, they can help get Jimmy some momentum. But again, I've been absolutely loving Drew McIntyre. He's been one of the since 2023. He has been killing it for me. Now we got some stuff happen. Ooh, there's some stuff happen. Everyone was waiting for The Rock. They made a big press release. The Rock is going to be there. The Rock's going to show up. The Rock is going to be on SmackDown. What's going to happen? I made in a Facebook post. One of my friends sent me the press release that The Rock is going to be there. I told him, I said more than likely it's going to be a WrestleMania announcement. And lo and behold, what was it? A WrestleMania announcement that they're going to have WrestleMania 26 in Louisiana. Which is great. Get people prepared to give people a chance to save up their life savings to buy those tickets. I looked at WrestleMania tickets. Oh my goodness, dude! I paid my son's college tuition. They're neck and neck. I'm like, whoa. The prices are out of control. But fair enough. I get it. He made a WrestleMania announcement for 2026. Then he veered off into the weird and the rambling and the what are you talking about, Rock? What is happening right now? Why are we doing this for so? That went 20 minutes long. It was wow. It was all kinds of confusing. I'm like, what is he talking about? 1 minute, that was one of the most schizophrenic promos I've ever heard from The Rock. 1 minute is sing along with The Rock. Next minute, you don't sing along with The Rock. It's the final boss. He will smack the syphilis off your lips. What is happening? What was going on? I didn't know what was happening. He told Cody to come outside. I want your soul. What is going on here? What is happening? That was one of the most bizarre promos I've ever seen in my life. And it came from The Rock? I'm like, what? Hey man, he must be really high on his own farts or something. I'm like, what is going on, man? I didn't know what that was about. And I've been a fan of The Rock for years. Everyone knows who The Rock is. My wife, when she was younger, would watch wrestling and knew who The Rock was. Everyone knows who Dwayne is. She saw like, what was he talking about? I was like, I don't know. What is he talking about? I don't know. I couldn't explain it to her because I didn't know what he said. I didn't know why he said it, or what was even the point. I don't know. But that was that. And then I was just confused the rest of the night until the main event where Jacob and Solo fought Priest and Braun Strowman. Now, Solo, they did their little tunnel talk or whatever. Solo was starting to cut the pro, but then Jacob cut him off. I was like, oh, yeah, there we go. Show him like, nah, you ain't in control no more. I got this. I got it now. So Jacob, he came in, cut him off, gave the promo, hit my music. I was like, oh, he going to hit my music. And he came out there. Of course they lost with Solo taking a pin after getting super kicked by Jacob. Oh, yep, there we go. So let's just wrap this up, hopefully by Elimination Chamber, so we can be done with that and go from there, because Jacob needs to be in title contention immediately. Yes, I'm a Jacob Fatu fan. Yes, I push him to the moon. Push him to the moon and back, which they're already doing, which is great. Oh, that was Friday Night SmackDown. Now on to Collision, in which more of, as Jim Cornette and Brian Last affectionately call them, and what I refer to them as, Dick the Boozer and the Boar Horseman. They're just terrible. They had a trios match that was boring. It was just boring. Then the Undisputed Kingdom came out. The match, who cares? Really, Yuta was in the match. It was just awful. Ugh. Then the Death Riders want to start doing stuff, and it was the worst. Match sucked. It royally sucked. But before that, I'm jumping ahead. Before that, Mariah May jumped Toni Storm while she was on her way to the ring. She jumped her, and then she drugged her out, got a big old spotlight, and did that whole thing. Look, see what you made me do, and blah blah blah. She looks all disheveled up and everything like that. So there's that. Then the next highlight was three highlights of that. Then it was Dick the Boozer and the Boar Horseman. They came out, and after their little goofy match, for some reason, Cope, I gotta say Cope, wants to give Pac the concerto twice. So that means Pac should be gone for at least 6 months, right? Because he had his brain crushed. So he should be gone for a minimum of 6 months. But knowing how they like to do things, Pac is more likely to be gone, what, a week or two at the most. Right? Then we got Tony Storm thing, the whole Boar Horseman thing. And then they start talking at the end of it too. For one, Claudio started talking in German. Why? There's no translator there. Then he translated himself. He tried to sound impassionate, but it just sounded boring. It sounded really boring. You got Really Yuta back there who looks like a shaggy dog that needs to get his hair cut. Can't see his face, can't see his eyes. Not like you really need to see him anyway, but yeah. Then you got Moxley and his ramblings. You got Marina Shafir looking. Why they look worried all of a sudden now that Pat got his brain smashed in? Well, they were choking people out, pouring bleach down people's throats. You should expect this to come back on you, okay? So they're saying some utter nonsense. He's throwing the trios titles around as Claudio, throwing the trios belts around. I'm like, who cares? But I mean, like, you are the champ, and why are you saying, you see why these titles have been defended and things? No, we don't. We don't. Would you please explain it? It never got there. So that nonsense happened, and then the Jericho nonsense happened, which he retained the Ring of Honor title, the Ring of Honor Championship being defended on an AEW show. Make that make sense. Then Jericho wins the match with the roll up in the middle of the ring. He won a roll up. He didn't grab the tights. He didn't cheat. Nothing. He's the heel in the situation, but he won like he's the triumphant babyface defending his championship. Just awful. Just awful. I gotta say, this week's wrestling was a C again. Nothing really held my interest. Again, this is my opinion. Nothing really held my interest. I was zoning out a lot of it during a lot of it. Especially on Raw and SmackDown. I know everyone's in WrestleMania mode. They building that up. I get it, but yeah, I was zoning out a lot of, just being honest. But as I said, wrestling grade this week was a C. I know WrestleMania is coming up, and hopefully AEW can do something to pique some interest, because it's getting worse. It is getting worse. But let me know what your opinions are, your thoughts, your comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do this every week. Let me know what your thoughts are too on the whole state of wrestling as a whole. All right, y'all. Peace.